So welcome everybody of the World Wide Web, it's Life Sigma Toys here, and it is another collection video. So yes, we are going for the 1997 animated series Mummies Alive. So anybody who does or doesn't know, wasn't born in the 90s or never came across this small run TV series, this was all a basic action hero series based with a kind of Egyptian theme around it. So we have basically in ancient Egypt, Scarab, who is kind of the Jafar, if you know Aladdin. He is the evil guy. He wants to be immortal. He can be immortal if he kills the pharaoh's son. He does this, but unfortunately is entombed by the emperor or the pharaoh, and he's left there for many years. In the future, in kind of the modern 90s time, we have this young lad called Presley. He is actually the reincarnation of the pharaoh's son. Kind of gives you a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh vibes. Scarab kind of is made aware of this when he's entombed and manages to break out, and he basically goes on the hunt for the reincarnation of the pharaoh's son. The pharaoh had basically entombed his bodyguards at the time to look after the pharaoh's son when he was reincarnated. So this is where the TV series starts. So if you have Scarab, you have obviously kill the pharaoh's son, and then it fast forwards to modern time of the 90s. He breaks free. He's after this Presley. And then you have Jakal, Amond, if I can remember the names, of Raph and Nefertiti. The four, they are kind of all brought back, but they have these magical powers, and it creates this little armor, and it's kind of the superhero-esque one. I really enjoyed the TV series. It was really quite fun to watch. It was a kind of a little idea. Obviously, it's 1997, so you get into Stargate and the Mummy. So this Egyptian theme was coming a little bit more popular, and this was kind of a way to have a cartoon series about it. I like the armor and that clips on and stuff, and they are quite nice looking. But we shall get into the figures now. So we start with Mummies Alive. So this is the kind of leader of the good guys, Jakal, if I pronounce that right. Obviously he is essentially a mummy, a reincarnated mummy. But his powers means he can change into some sort of agent form, and he uses the hawk. It is represented in his bike as well. So you can see his little jetpack or his little glide pack there. So he does have the wings. Obviously you have, I'll just show a 360 first. So it looks quite cool. Obviously anybody, I think this maybe was too early for its line, obviously, but then you had Stargate, which did kind of bring it on. You can remove all of these parts. Get them all off. And then I believe this could come, I thought this could come off. Yeah, just a bit tight. So there you go. So this is kind of how they are first represented in little mummy forms. Basically a slender figure with some bandages. And then obviously you had this, all this stuff would kind of marry on to them. So that is him. So Jakal also, they did do a few of the figures as human kind of form. So this is his kind of inconspicuous form that he walked around, even though it looks like that. This is very much, they took inspiration from the Ghostbusters. So Ghostbusters, they had like fright figures. So there we go, if you can see that. So you press this, his eyes pops out. Just kind of I'm sure they kind of had a gimmick that they just crossed over to these figures. I believe also Raph had a human figure, but I don't have him. So, but that is all of Jakal. So as I mentioned, so we have Raph. So here is Raph with most of his armor. Obviously, unfortunately, missing one arm piece. But apart from that, he obviously has the snake is his kind of symbolic symbol. Or represents it. So obviously you can take his armor off, take the snake off, take the arms, take the feet. I think the waist stays where it is. So that is Raph there in kind of his standard stage. Obviously has a little bit of twist for his waist, my legs. So very kind of minimal articulation like you did have back in the day, but still enough to kind of enjoy it. Then you had the third warrior. So this is Armon. So he has a ram as his kind of totem, so to speak. He's obviously the powerhouse, that's why he has the ram. Obviously everything, as far as I'm aware, he did have a kind of cybernetic hand to make him a little bit different. Obviously you can remove his boots, as I throw stuff, and his mask. His mask is quite easy thing to come off, and then his gauntlets, and that's where it is. Obviously they do have these talismans around. Obviously a kind of Frankenstein, Quasimodo always reminds me of this guy. And there he is, but all still quite good. I got these quite good condition. They're not, most of them aren't that expensive. The one that is expensive, obviously, there is a woman in the team, and the women figures weren't created quite a lot. She's called Nefertiti. She is really hard to find. So I don't have her. I do have a watch out on her, but she very rarely comes up. Then we have the main bad guy. So this is Scarab. So this is the kind of pharaoh from ages ago who's now immortal, or the wizard, not pharaoh. Obviously, again, he is like the good guys, so you can take his armor off. Remember his backpack being a pain in the backside. I don't want to break this, so here we go. That's his head. So yeah, he is kind of the Scarab. Beetle, as his name is Scarab, so very kind of not ingenious for the time. And then pop that off, and there he is. So this is kind of his human standard form before he transforms. Kind of if you imagine Mum-Ra, and then into the evil being. So there he is, quite good. Not much paint, rub, or anything on him. They stand better with the armor on, most of them. And then the final figure that I have is a Sabiti warrior. So he has the two tail pieces, and that's it. These, for some reason, are also quite hard. So these are the henchmen, the foot soldiers of the Mummies Alive wave. He normally has like a headdress and armor and a shield and a sword, I think. But I think I picked this up for like £5 online. I keep looking, I very rarely come across these unless they're in a box, and they're really expensive. So nice, cool design, and I quite like the face sculpt, and that is really, really good. But that has been Mummies Alive. Have you seen this series? Did you really like it? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. Otherwise, hit the like, comments button, and I shall see you in the next one.